The Power is a horror movie that sticks with you long after you've turned off the lights, especially after you've turned off the lights. Hey, Twisted people, it's your Twisted Woman here, Chauncey K. Robinson, and today I am doing a spoiler-free review of the new Shudder original movie, The Power. London, 1974. As Britain prepares for electrical blackouts to sweep across the country, trainee nurse Val arrives for her first day at the crumbling East London Royal Infirmary. With most of the patients and staff evacuated to another hospital, Val is forced to work the night shift, finding herself in a dark, near-empty building. Within these walls lies a deadly secret, forcing Val to face both her own traumatic past and deeper fears in order to confront the force that intends on destroying everything around her. The Power has a captivating tone and atmosphere that draws you in from the very beginning. And when I say captivating, I don't mean bright and illustrious or anything like that. I actually mean dark and dreary, because this film is somewhat dark and dreary. It's very dark. It's a very dark film in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of the look of it. I mean, it plays on the dark. I mean, as you hear from the synopsis, it plays on the dark, and it uses that as in it's part of the atmosphere, but in a way the darkness is almost its own character in this film as well. And it works very well in terms of setting the tone that you will get throughout this whole entire movie. Because of that, there's not much humor in this movie. It jumps right into the plot, right into the atmosphere of a darkness over casting on this place that Val, the main character, finds herself in. So there's not a lot of comedic moments. There's like maybe one or two in the very beginning, and they're not even like laugh out loud. It's just kind of like, oh, here's a lighter moment in all this dread. That's nice. A little bit of a relief before we get back to the feeling of dread throughout. The two adjectives I think apply best to this film are serious and creepy. The lead, Val, is strong. You know, the actress is very strong in this role, and the character is sympathetic. You will feel for this character, the way she plays it. Sometimes when you have a character that's supposed to be somewhat innocent, the good one in the film, I feel sometimes it can be overdone to the point where you don't even like them because it's like, oh my gosh, you're way too good, almost unrealistic, almost Mary Sue territory. And I think they really do walk a really good line in making this character, although she may seem naive, although she may feel a little, overtly innocent, there's something in the way it's played that it's like, no, this is also a person. And I can sympathize with this person, which can be hard to do. And I think they do that very well. She's sympathetic. Now, when it comes to the other characters that surround her in this new line of work that she's doing at the infirmary, this is where I think maybe is the film's weakest point, because the other characters almost become somewhat caricatures of a darkness within humans. And I don't mean darkness like evil. I mean like just the tendency for people to be, sarcastic, down on their luck, kind of just very judgmental of others. People who have just been through the ringer in one way or another. They're just very pessimistic. There's a very pessimistic vibe from each and every other person that seems to be around Val in terms of the adults there. And it almost feels like overkill, for lack of a better word, or maybe the best word for a horror movie. It almost feels like it's done to the point where it's kind of unrealistic that everyone just seems pessimistic. But then you also, in taking in consideration the synopsis of the movie itself, 1974, Britain's dealing with rolling blackouts. These people work in a crumbling infirmary where there are people who are dying. There are children who don't have homes, sick, and all this other stuff, in a poor kind of area or neighborhood. And so, yes, you are going to get it that there might be more than one person there or a few people there who are pessimistic, who are in a pessimistic mindset. Since this is a horror movie, I need to address if it is actually creepy or scary in some regard. Now, we all know when it comes to horror, and I always say this, that sometimes what is scary can be subjective, but I do think it can set a tone that everyone can agree, even if you aren't specifically scared by it, you can see someone being scared by it. And I think this film, The Power, definitely delivers on that. It has a lot of the horror tropes in it when it comes to possession, when it comes to ghosts, when it comes to something being deadly in the dark, when it comes to jump scares, when it comes to tension. It is all there. And it's actually done in a non-convoluted way, as in it's not all just crammed in there where there's everything going on just for the sake of it's a horror movie, we have to do this. All of it ends up making sense. This film is also serious because it does deal with serious topics. I think that's something I would like to point out without giving spoilers, but it does deal with serious topics that may be somewhat triggering for some people, which I'll get to when it comes to the trigger warnings. But there are serious topics that are hinted at and discussed in a way or alluded to. And I think because of that, I feel like the movie chose to stay true to that tone. There's a message in this movie without being something that bludgeons us over the head with it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that the would-be victims or the victims in this are empowered in their own way. And although this film is somewhat dreary, the ending lands because there's a certain optimism there when it comes to what could be and what is, to the point where the ending is satisfying. The main triggers for this film are abuse and assault. My final twisted grade for The Power is an A. Okay, Twisted people, let me know if you are planning on watching The Power or any other horror movies you are in the mood for. Let me know, comment down below, and also be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos. Thanks for watching and slicing into this storytelling with me.